What up, dude? What's up, everybody? It's Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. It is week 3 in the NFL. This is my third live stream. It is a good day. I'm trying to make it a good day. I had a long day at work. Sorry I'm late, but I'm here with the live stream, guys. Welcome to the channel. If it's your first time tuning in, this is the channel we might not tell you what you want to hear, but I'm definitely going to tell you what you need to hear. And if you're not new, you guys already know what I do. I give recap and analysis of the best division in NFL, the NFC South. So if you want to see more videos, go ahead and subscribe button below. I already see you already logged in, man, giving that video a thumbs up. Go ahead and do it again if you haven't already. I really appreciate that. But like I said, I'm Aaron Duncan here. What up, John Coates? You always one of the first ones in line. I like it. What's up, man? Kid Skitty. What's goody? What up, man? Will Seal, what up, man? What up? I see y'all checking in, man. I appreciate y'all joining me. You know how to do on Wednesday. I'm an hour late, guys. I usually do 8 o'clock. I try to aim for 8 o'clock. I'm an hour late. But I appreciate you guys excusing my tardiness, I guess is what I'll call it. But it's been a lot going on. When you check in, let me know you're here. Give me a yo, give me a shout out. I'll holler back. As you know, guys, I'll go over a few topics. I'll give a prediction about the games in the division. And then at the end, if you got some questions, go ahead and drop the questions now, and I'll go ahead and get up to them at the end. I'll do like a speed round at the end to close out the live stream, just to answer any questions, whether it be fantasy football. Oh, man, homework. No. All right, that's all good. What up, bro? What up, super fast boy? Yeah, but like I said, if you have any questions, man, drop them now. I'll answer them later. Don't worry about it, John, man. You can tune in and watch whatever you missed up. I'll post it up on the channel so you can finish up wherever you leave off at and watch the rest of the video. That's the beauty of live streams now on YouTube. You can put them back. You can put them on the channel actually, and anybody can go back and watch it. You won't have the live commenting, but you can still comment on the video. And you know I like to respond to those comments and like to talk about what we need to talk about. But a good couple things to talk about to this week. It's been a lot of crazy stuff. The division's already gotten crazy. We all know about the Bucs being 2-0 and all that. All the talk this week is about FitzPatrick, whatever. You know, he wore the sauce to the press conference that he borrowed from Deshaun Jackson. He even got a shout out from the king of post-game outfits, Cam Newton, today, saying that he appreciated and he saluted him about that. Top 10 in this slight change. Okay, we can go back. I saw your comments, Kitty. We can talk about that at the end, because I like to hear your opinion. I saw your opinion on it, but we can argue about it. Since it's so early in the season, nothing's really too clean cut. So everything's up for debate. Excuse me. Drinking body armor. Thirsty. But yeah, guys. So a lot to get into. Saints Falcons week. The Buccaneers have a primetime game on Monday Night Football against the Steelers. It's going to be a great game. You couldn't really pick a better storybook than what's going on right now, especially with the Steelers drama. And then now with Fitzpatrick doing his thug dizzle out here on this field. But it's going to be a great week. And, of course, the Panthers playing the 2-0 Bengals. Surprisingly, the 2-0 Bengals. But like I said, if you haven't already, go ahead and get the video a thumbs up. Leave me a question if you have anything. I'll answer them at the end. But let's get into some of these injuries, of course. The Falcons, it seemed like people got beat up in the game against the Panthers, and they don't want to tell anybody until, one by one. What up, Buck Crazy? But they it's nuts to me because one day they come out and say, okay, Andy Dalton hurts his elbow in the game. It turned out to be a triceps injury. He's out for the season. Fine. They'll replace him with it's Schweitzer the one that's replacing Levitri, I think. But that'll be fine, whatever. It's one low. You can pass that up. You got a guy that has experience behind him. Fine. Then Dan Quinn comes out and refuses to report about Devontae Freeman being out for a couple of weeks and saying he's day-to-day, whatever that means. Coaches are always going to be as vague as possible when they talk about these injuries from what I've seen in the NFL over the past not few seasons, but since I've been actually studying and watching the game, coaches are going to have their certain talks. They say sore body parts, or they say day-to-day, or they'll say a sprain or a strain, or a Veterans Day when somebody is beat up or hurt and they need to take a day off for practice. So you got to be able to decipher this coach's lingo. But I don't know what Devontae's going to be. I don't know what the status is going to be for Sunday. They're going to need all hands on deck, of course. I believe that game is going to be a shootout because the Saints defense hasn't been as strong as Well, they weren't dominant last year, but they were still middle of the pack, and they were very opportunistic. They were this past week. Marcus Williams had a dope pick. They had a breakdown on the Saints app talking about how that play was possible from the Kirk Coleman pressure to Tyrod Taylor sliding his feet and Marcus Williams jumping and getting that pick. It's kind of cool seeing those breakdown those plays. Like I said, I want to try to do that some more, but it's hard for me to break down that stuff on my cell phone because I do all that on my cell phone. I may try to see if I can leak into my computer and do some of that diagramming and stuff like that just to flex my football brain muscles and knock the dust off of them. But anyway, Saints Falcons game gonna be crazy. The Falcons now Julio Jones set out practice today. I think because I don't know if it was his knee, his leg, or something. I can't remember what exactly the body part was, but Julio is always hurt, man, and it's kind of getting like it's crazy in the game because Julio will make one big play and he'll check out, and then you think, oh, why is Julio on the field and blah blah blah? We're in the red zone. It's because he made the big play to get y'all down there, and he checks himself out. I don't know why he checks himself out that much. I don't know if it's just because he gets that tired that easy. He's an elite wide receiver. I don't know if his stamina should be that low. What up, Elijah? But I don't know if his stamina should be that bad to the point that you make one big play, you check yourself out. That really doesn't make sense to me. However, I don't know. I don't know if that's just a thing with him or what. But he sat out of practice today. Dan Quinn, I didn't really look at his press conference to see what he said about Julio in particular. But we'll see what happens up day by day as the week goes on. So, I mean, Wednesday is the first practice and the first day that the coaches talk to the media. So we'll get more information from Dan Quinn about Julio's injury going forward. We all know about Keanu Neal being out, and we know about Debo Jones being out. So that Saints offense, they were sloppy, and this past Sunday against the Browns, if it went for the Browns' terrible kicker, they probably could have lost that game, but they're fortunate enough. If you saw my video, I got into it a little bit more. If you haven't, go ahead and catch up. Also, if you haven't, make sure you go ahead and check out my top 10 power rankings. Let me know what you think about it under that video. Leave a comment, leave a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you agree and disagree about. But this matchup, so what I'm going to be looking for in this matchup is who's probably going to have the ball last, because I think it's going to be high scoring, of course, like I said before. Last time they played in Atlanta, we remember that epic play by Debo Sanders, the pick in the end zone. He also knocked out Alvin Kamara in that game with a concussion. Alvin Kamara is from Atlanta, so you know he's going to be trying to put on a show this week. So we'll see what happens, man. And he's going to be the man because there's no Mark Ingram still. So it's going to be his time to shine in his hometown of Atlanta in the Peach State. We're going to see how they match up with it. I mean, Christian McCaffrey had 14 catches last week out of the backfield. Alvin Kamara has a similar skill set as far as catching those passes. We'll see how they do that. We'll see how Trufant and Alfred defend Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas has been on a tear, but Sean Payton has noted that he doesn't want it to be like Michael Thomas being the only guy getting catches. They want to spread that ball a little bit around a little bit more. Ted Ginn needs to get more looks, of course. Meredith needs to get involved. They said he hasn't learned the playbook yet. That's why they're bringing him on slow. And Raekwon Smith, whatever his name is, he's got to get involved too. The rookie, he had one catch last week, a nice catch, but they want to get him involved more also. But you guys let me know your prediction for the Saints versus Falcons game at 1 o'clock. Give me the scores down below in the comments. I think that, like I said, I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I think possibly if anybody whoever turns the ball over at least typically in these high-scoring matchups, typically is the one that wins the game. Yes, the Falcons had a great explosion of offense in the red zone, 4 for 4. What up, Roman? They had a 4 for 4 outing out there. But however, the Falcons always play the Panthers good at home. I don't know what it is. I think Cam and them are like 2-9 in their last 11 games in the Georgia Dome. Like I said, I go to those games. I said it last week on the live stream. I go to those games. I've been to the past 5, probably 4 or 5 Falcons-Panthers games in Atlanta, and we only won the first one. And that was when they won the division, when they went 7-8-1 or whatever. It's been a long time coming. So let me know what your score. Donald Clark says 31-17 Saints over the Falcons. gotta love the trash talk between those two. This is one of the big rivalries in the division. Of course, these guys hate each other. You know, like because of Katrina, of course, there's an influx of Saints fans everywhere, particularly in Atlanta, and a lot of them didn't go back. So the amount of trash talk that goes on this week here, like of course I tell you guys that I live here that there's so much trash talk. Super Fast Boy says Falcons win 28-24. Buck Crazy says 24-21. I don't know, man. I think it's a lot more high scoring. I'm going I'll go I'll go 28-31. I'll say the Saints, man. I think they're in a good spot right now because the Falcons have so many injuries, and the Saints defense, they've made some mistakes and they haven't played great ball in week one against their explosive offense. I mean, I want to throw that Cleveland Browns game out because their offense is so basic and Tyrod Taylor is so conservative. They did give up a bomb, though, to Antonio Callaway, so we'll be pay attention to that. But I think they'll be able to make enough plays to beat the Falcons. I had them splitting this series. Actually, I think I had them splitting the series, but I think I had the Falcons winning at home. However, with the injuries, I'll still stick with the splitting the series 1-1. However, I'm going to flip the script on this game because just of healthiness, the Saints are going in fairly healthy. The Falcons have a lot more guys missing in key spots that they need. We'll see what Devontae plays. Tevin Coleman had a great game, so it really didn't matter. But I think the Falcons will be able to do what they want to on this Saints defense. So I really don't think it'll matter defensively what the Saints do. However, I feel like the Saints can bend but not break. I think that Falcons game last week was just an outlier. Of course, that fourth quarter in the red zone was crazy. I don't know what the Panthers were on last week, but there wasn't that defense that I recognized. So I say that was just like an outlier game. That wasn't anything normal. That's what happened. Like I said, I'll stick with my 28-31 Saints score. I think the difference maker in the game, of course, is going to be Alvin Kamara. He's going to have to play the whole game, and he'll be able to exploit whoever's guarding him, whether it's Duke Riley or Devondre Campbell, or if they try to put Ricardo Allen on him. Like last week, they put Ricardo Allen on Christian McCaffrey after a while because they're both built similar skill types. They're both a little bit smaller, a little more agile because they didn't have the speed of Debo Jones out there. And that was a great adjustment by Dan Quinn, which I thought was a pretty good adjustment by him. Like I said, I have to give him credit for that, putting Ricardo Allen out there. Now with DeMonte KZ being kicked out of that game, it was a little bit tougher to do that. But now that KZ will be back, because since he wasn't suspended, he was just fined. We'll see what they can do with a little more versatility because they'll have KZ in there. However, I still think the Saints will be able to do what they want. 31-28. We'll save the Bucs game for last. Let's go to the Panthers Bengals. I'll get into this just briefly, just because this is not an interdivision game, but I think that the media is on the Bengals right now just because we saw them in primetime. We'll call it recency bias. AJ Green went off. He's on my fantasy team. David says Cincinnati. I don't believe in Andy Dalton. You know, he's the epitome of a mediocre quarterback. He's like literally the middle of the pack quarterback in the league. Like, there's 32 quarterbacks in the NFL that start. He would be number 16 and a half for me, just because he's not bad enough that you just need to get rid of him. Like, oh, we need a new quarterback, but he's just not good enough to take you to a Super Bowl. You know, he's like the epitome of mediocre. Like, I know I heard one of the analysts say that Andy Dalton is like the bar for quarterbacks in the league. Like, you got to measure your quarterback against Andy Dalton. So whenever you think that you should fire somebody or fire your quarterback on your team, think about Andy Dalton. Is he better than Andy Dalton? Yes. If he is, you got to keep him. Is he worse than Andy Dalton? Yes. If he's worse than Andy Dalton, find somebody else, move on. Dalton is Matt Ryan. Yeah, a lot of people like to compare them to each other. I don't know, man. I think Matt Ryan's better than Dalton. I'm not going to lie. Granted, the weapons are comparable. Maybe the running game is probably better in Atlanta, I'm sure. And Atlanta is loaded, but yeah, they do have very similar stats, I will say. But Andy Dalton doesn't have any playoff wins, unfortunately. Neither Marvin Lewis has been there 15 years and had playoff wins. Andy Dalton, a lot of people forget that back in 2015, Andy Dalton had a chance to be MVP. A lot of people were calling for him to be MVP until he broke his finger, I think. Because him and Cam Newton were kind of having 2 good years. The Bengals were doing pretty decent. Andy Dalton got hurt. They lost in the playoffs because A.J. McCarron had to play that game. A lot of people don't remember that. But Andy Dalton was playing at an MVP level. He showed that he can have that. He hasn't really been back like that since. But we'll see what happens. Ryan is a choke artist. Yeah, he still has a lot to prove in the clutch. We'll see about that. So does Andy Dalton. So I can't see the similarities you guys are banking on. However, let's get more back into the Panthers. So like I said, the Panthers had a terrible defensive game, and I think that was more of abnormal than these guys have been so good against the run. And for them to give up 100 yards to Tevin Coleman on less than 20 carries, at one point I think Tevin Coleman had like 110 on like 10 carries, and it was ridiculous because every time I watched some film today on the Panthers app, and they just showed how some guys were just getting out of position. They were playing lazy. Ron Rivera and defensive coordinator Eric Washington really came down on the defense and talked about how lackadaisical and lazy. Ron Rivera even said he expected to make some changes. So I'm anxious to see what happens. They said they're going to play Peppers a little bit more, which is, I don't know why they didn't in the first place. But the Panthers' offensive line really got exposed to show their age. I mean, some of their depth is older, and they don't really have any pure speed pass rushers. Yes, Cam did play outstanding, but it's kind of you want to see both sides complement each other. Usually, it's the defense carrying the load for the Panthers, and the offense can't get anything together. The offense came out a little bit hot. They hit a little lull in the third quarter. I think what really lost the Panthers the game was that score they gave it right before halftime, and then the Falcons getting the ball back. Even though the Panthers got that interception by Dante Jackson, they didn't do anything about it at all. Yes, some of their personnel decisions are head scratching, and yes, they were missing Thomas Davis, who probably would have been guarding Austin Hooper on that touchdown pass that Shaq was on there when Shaq got burnt. And it was crazy. Yeah, the offense has to do a little bit more. Cam Newton's numbers were outstanding. They were kind of low initially, and like I was looking at the scoreboard. I was at the game during the game, and he didn't really start putting up huge numbers to the fourth quarter. And it's just unfortunate. I think had C.J. Anderson caught that pass and not turned into an interception, it would have been a way different game. It probably would have went overtime. Maybe it would have been a tie game and the Falcons went down and scored a field goal. I don't know. But I almost guarantee that the Panthers would have tied that thing up with some time left on that clock because they were moving the ball with ease those last three drives. You can call it prevent defense, but the Panthers were still making plays. They were getting the out routes, the comeback routes that they wanted. And the Falcons, that's the plays you're not supposed to give up. Yeah, it's garbage time, but you still don't let guys get out of bounds and catch those passes. So I got to give them credit. Cam played good. He definitely wasn't as many design runs. I think they ran like 12 zone reads against the Cowboys. And I think they might have run one like that Sunday, and it was just a quarterback dive. But I said it before, they have to give C.J. Anderson the ball. They should have pounded the ball a little bit more, control the clock, control the line of scrimmage, and the Panthers should have won. They've definitely had a chance, man. Pound that ball, and they're going to talk. Yeah, DJ Moore is an interesting topic because he's another guy that needs to get more touches and more carries, just like CJ. So CJ and DJ both need the ball. CJ doesn't need to be catching too many passes like that because he had two drops. Fortunately, the first drop didn't go for a pick, but the second one did, and it kind of lost. It didn't lose the game per se, but it kind of put the game out of reach time-wise. Luckily, the defense finally stepped in and got the ball back, but CJ needs to get more carries. He popped a 22-yard run on the first play of the game. Like, he's a different type of back. He's like Jonathan Stewart in his prime, dude. He's built the same. He's a rumbler. He has a little bit more speed and explosiveness than Jonathan Stewart, and he's just as hard to take down. And he's a good compliment to McCaffrey. So I like that. Take some of those carries away from Cam, give them to CJ. As far as DJ Moore, we finally got to see all of the receivers touch the ball. And Curtis Samuel was out, of course. Demir Bird was out. So we got to see a lot of the plethora of receivers, especially with them losing. They had to pass more. Torrey Smith, I talked about that in the recap game. Torrey Smith had those two false starts, but he did catch a touchdown pass. DJ Moore got him a touchdown pass. Jarius Wright got a touchdown pass. Like, these are the guys that we got. And they're not all-stars, but they're good enough that if you put them around Cam Newton can give them the ball and let them make some plays because, like, and you're right. Like, they got to go to the guys that are hot. They have a bad thing of not giving to the high. Like, DJ Moore, like, they say, oh, we want to teach him all three receiver positions, and he's blah, blah, blah. Like, we want to bring him on slow because he's a rookie. We don't want to put too much on his plate. Then you try to throw some screens and, like, reverses to the guy instead of letting him run regular routes and get in there and run plays. Then you give him a crossing route. This guy stiff arms a start middle linebacker. And, like, I don't care. If you're a receiver and you stiff arm a start middle linebacker in NFL to the ground and you split two defenders with that speed, you need the ball in your hands. It took that for you guys to realize, oh, we need to give DJ Moore the ball. Like, I saw so many highlights on Twitter of DJ in training camp. Yes, it's practice, but you practice like you play. Like, why did they not give him more playing time and more targets before this? Like, why did it take something dramatic like this and a loss for them to learn that lesson the hard way? Like, Devin Funchess, I told you guys last year, if you've been sticking with me that long, when we talked about when they lost to the using starting linebacker a little bit. Hey, he's starting. I mean, he's the backup, but he's starting. So it is what it is. DJ Moore is still a receiver, however, but yeah, they said he was coming along slow because he was learning so many positions. I don't think it was so much that he couldn't get the playbook. It's just they thought they liked his versatility so much they wanted to put DJ Moore to be able to put him in different spots. And the sad part, like Ron Rivera said, is that as soon as he starts making plays, all the other receivers start making plays. So you're going to be taking playing time away from other guys if you're going to put DJ Moore in. I think the one guy you should take playing time from is Devin Funchess. Nobody wants to say I'm going to call Devin Funchess out. He should have caught that touchdown pass against the Saints last year in the playoffs. Say what you want about KB. He was good in jump ball scenarios. He probably would have caught that jump ball against the Saints. It might be a different story in the playoffs last year. Devin Funchess had a back shoulder fade I think that was after we got the interception by Dante. I might have to go back and watch the game, but we were backed up on the 2 or 3 yard line or whatever. Cam threw a perfect back shot. Like, this was Aaron Rodgers like passes because Aaron Rodgers always likes to. Yeah, Kalen Clay dropped the corner route, but Devin Funchess dropped a little Hail Mary pass on 3rd down before Cam got sacked on 4th down. But I lost my train of thought. Damn it. But Devin Funchess, man, it went right. You're right. It went right through his hands. He was covered, but that's what the back shoulder fade is. You throw it, since he's a big body receiver, you throw it away from the receiver. That way he can extend his arms out and get the ball. You see Aaron Rodgers do it all the time with Devontae Adams, and when he had Jordy Nelson, he used to do that. Even though these guys are covered, you can still throw them open. That's what a good quarterback does. And first of all, the first things first, I was happy to see Cam make that throw. Seeing him make that accurate of a throw after people question his accuracy all the time was very, 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 very happy for me. And I thought that him and Funchess would have a little bit more chemistry, that Funchess would expect something like that and make that catch. Funchess really pisses me off. We want him to be a number 1 receiver so bad. Everybody wants him to be that number 1 receiver so bad, but he just showing that he needs to be a complimentary guy. DJ Moore needs to step up and be that number 1 guy for us. Cam's accuracy is underrated, and he places some balls and he misses some bad passes, and he gets a bad rep because he misses bad, and his completion percentage number is low. However, he has upper 60 something percent completion percentage now, but what are we sacrificing from that? I'd rather Cam throw 58% like he did his MVP year and throw bombs and touchdowns than throwing 14 checkdowns to Christian McCaffrey and our offense not getting into high gear until the 4th quarter. You see what happened when they actually started hitting receivers on crossing routes and North Turner actually opened up the offense. We can actually do some stuff. Cam is so dangerous in the pocket that even inside and outside the pocket that teams have to respect him, and he has the arm to make all the throws. Like you said, his accuracy is underrated, and they need to run some more of those deep crossing routes. A lot of those is what got us into position to get those touchdowns. And like you said, with guys like DJ, he could easily take a 20-yard catch and turn it into 51 at the stiff arming and running past guys. I love seeing DJ run. Like, he's so smooth. Like, he made it look easy. Like, it didn't even like he was trying. He didn't even like he was having fun out there. He, like, caught the ball. The stiff arm was so, like, it made it like a breeze. And then the way he split those 2 guys, it almost looked like he was jogging. But the way he ran past those guys, it was like, oh, my God, this dude really has what we thought he has. And it just took a crazy moment like that for me to realize I need to give him more touches. So I like what I heard from that. Ron Rivera said he's going to get the ball a little bit more. No pun intended. But Devin Funchess, man, like I said, you still owe me a couple for those drops. I don't believe in him. We'll see what happens. But North, his play calling being a little, yes, I do say that. Like, I don't know. I don't know if he's trying to change Cam. Like, I don't know if he's just not ready to cut Cam loose, so he's calling certain plays and doesn't want to go downfield, because all we heard coming in is like North Turner's known for taking deep shots and Cam Newton's deep ball accuracy is good, so this is going to be a match made in heaven. Now it's week 3 and we haven't seen one bomb at all. Like, I'm like, what's going on? Where are the deep passes? Where is the stuff we thought we were going to do stretch the field? Yes, we're utilizing these weapons, but we're overkilling on Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey had a great preseason, but I want to see him mixed in with C.J. Anderson. Let's get that thunder and lightning combination going. And you can actually put both of them on the field at the same time. They did it a few times, running their option. And that works beautifully because you got CJ Anderson on the dive and you got Christian McCaffrey as the pitch man. And Cam Newton is the ultimate weapon. So, whatever. But my prediction for this game for the Bengals versus the Panthers, I think the Panthers are 3-point home favorites right now. So, my prediction is going to be a fairly low-scoring game. You got two pretty good defenses. I think that with Joe Mixon being out for the Bengals, they're gonna try to take advantage of us in the air. Yeah, they saw we were weak in the run, but I don't think they'll be able to run on us. There's only a certain few teams that can run on Carolina, and I don't think this is one, especially with Giovanni Bernard, who is small. So Cincinnati, my prediction for this game is at 1:00 in Carolina, of course. Shout out to the Carolinas, by the way, after Hurricane Florence. But you know I gotta pick the Panthers, man. I'm going 24-16 Panthers. I think that the defense bounces back. I think that they get a late turnover. That I think the Bengals are gonna be trying to score to tie it up or make a place get in. I think the Panthers get a late turnover finally and figure that out. I think Bradbury has another great game. I think that he locks up AJ. Not locks up. He held Julio to 4 catches for 64 yards, which was great. He had a nice pass breakup, but I think that he not locks AJ down, but I don't think AJ explodes for 3 touchdowns in the first quarter like he did last week. I think Bradbury's going to try to make a name for himself in his league. He has a chance because we go against good wide receivers like Odell Beckham this year. He goes against Antonio Brown this year with the Steelers. He's going against AJ Green and Julio twice. Of course, Michael Thomas twice. Bradbury needs to make a name for himself. I always harp on him because he's not a playmaker like Josh Norman. He's just a solid corner. I want to see him become a playmaker, start getting some picks, more pass breakups. But I got Carolina 24-16. Let's move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A lot of you guys have been waiting on me to talk about Ryan Fitzpatrick, a.k.a. Conor McGregor, a.k.a. Mr. Chest Hair Out, Beard Gang, crazy, whatever you want to call it. Cam complimented Fitzpatrick's beard game, and it was a little different. But David calls him FitzMagic, but it's amazing what's going on, and we knew the situation was gonna be like going into it with Jameis being out. However, nobody expected Fitzpatrick to play this well, and it's like you're either all in on Fitzpatrick because you like the story and you know what he's done, and you probably don't like Jameis that much, or you're like, oh, we've seen this Fitzpatrick before. He had a good start with the Bills or the Jets. He even went to the playoffs. But he'll fall out and sizzle out soon. So everybody's either hot or cold on him. I like Fitzpatrick. I even picked him up in one of my fantasy leagues. I'll probably leave him in for one more week, at least, to see how it goes. Deshaun Jackson came out publicly and said that you got to write the hot hand. They're going to be on Monday Night Football, so it's going to be good. You know the story is going to be swirling. Even though I hate the Monday Night Football cast, John Gruden needs to hurry up and get fired like he probably will be and get back in that Monday Night Football booth because I hate Booger McFarland, and Jason Witten is annoying to me too. And I just don't like the cast on Monday Night Football. But that's off topic. But these guys, what can I do? Like I said, yeah, I mean, that's what I said. I picked Tampa to go somewhere between, I think I picked, what I had to say, over their 6 wins for sure. I should have put that bet. I didn't take that bet, but silly of me because they're already a third of the way there, and I think they're gonna win Monday. The Steelers it's too much going on, and there's sometimes adversity can bring a team together, but adversity is splitting their team apart clearly. Antonio Brown, the drama's been blown out of proportion. Big Ben barely wants to play football. Roman said Saints last in the division. I mean, Big Ben barely wants to play football. Le'Veon hasn't shown up. Antonio Brown had a personal matter to tend to. But like I told you guys last week, and I was correct. Well, I think I don't like Booger because he's pretty biased. When he was a college analyst, he was pretty biased. So I didn't really like him then with the SEC Nation. So he kind of pissed me off then. And for him to make that jump to the pros, kind of weird to me. But anyway, I'm getting off topic again. We can talk about that at the end. But like I said last week against the Eagles, it pretty much went exactly how I figured. Um, uh, it pretty much went exactly how I figured the game would go. I told you that if the Buccaneers needed to go for big plays again, like you can check the live stream. I'll even post a clip on my Instagram. Make sure you guys follow the Instagram at UB Sports Talk. But I said that the Saints need to go for big plays again early to get a lead. That way they can neutralize the running game of the Eagles. The Eagles wanted to go to the run game because Nick Foles isn't a great quarterback. They're going to try to lead on the run. I think somebody said the Bucs have the number 2 or number 1 ranked rush defense right now, and that's because they got a lead. And most teams, once you get a lead, they're going to try to throw the ball to catch up and get back in the game. However, Fitzpatrick has been playing well enough to keep those guys at bay. That way they can't run. And not to mention that souped up front seven has pretty much neutralized the run game also. So it's a combination of offense complementing defense. That's what they call complementary football. There's different ways you can play complementary football. You can have a high-powered. That's why I say sometimes the best defense is a good offense because your offense gets the lead. Your defense only has to worry about rushing the passer and defending the pass, which is kind of easier than stopping the run. Stopping the run, when you're getting gashed by the run, like it may seem like, oh, we're just running for 1 or 2 yards here, 1 or 2 yards here, but you got to stay with the run when you're offense. And if you're getting gashed by the run big time, it's kind of demoralizing because it makes you feel like less of a man because literally somebody is literally lined up in front of you telling you that we're going to run the ball, we're going here. And they're literally pushing you backwards, and their running back is running through holes that they're creating by pushing you. And it makes you feel like less of a man. That's just the simplest way to put it. And it can be devastating. It makes you tired. It keeps the clock running, and it keeps the other team off the field. So, like I said, the Saints have been playing complementary football. You can do it that way, which is their formula now. The offense has made it easier on the defense. Not to mention the young guys in the secondary have stepped up, even with Hargraves being out. I've been very impressed with the Bucs defense. I mean, granted, they gave up a bunch of points against the Saints, but Drew Brees is Drew Brees, and he was going to pick on Carlton Davis out there. But the Bucs defense, yeah, I've been impressed with them. But they gave up a lot. Like I said, they gave up a lot of points to the Saints, but I like what they did against the Eagles. The strategy worked out perfect, like I said. They got that lead, maintained the lead. Their strategy against Pittsburgh can score. Yes, don't let Le'Veon being out fool you. Don't let Le'Veon being out fool you. I'm not a huge James Conner guy. Yes, he put up some numbers, but he's not the playmaker and the difference maker Le'Veon is. But they still have Antonio Brown. They still have Big Ben Roethlisberger. Now, their defense is Swiss cheese. We saw Patrick Mahomes destroy them with 6 total touchdowns. Granted, the Bucs don't have Tyreek Hill, somebody that can fly, but they do got Deshaun Jackson, somebody who's pretty fast his darn self. So, we'll see what the Bucs do. I say that the strategy has to be the same. I think it could be a shootout, but I know the Bucs are going to put up points. I know they're going to take those shots. It's going to be prime time. I see D-Jax having another good game. I see Mike Evans I see the offense having a good game. We'll see what happens. The running game is interesting, though, for the numbers haven't been great for the Bucs. It has been consistent. The first half, the running game tends to be pretty good, and it kind of sizzles off for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, the O-line's been playing great, but I don't even know why the Bucs they can't sustain the consistent running game throughout the game. But it seems like Peyton Barber's getting the volume, but they just need to, I don't know, get something together. So let's talk about the Steelers. Mike Tomlin. Everybody's been going in on him today. I see you guys going in on him. He needs to put some things to bed. Some guys are saying they traded for Le'Veon. Like the Steelers are a mess right now. Nobody knows how to read them. There's sometimes some of these coaches, these guys are players coaches, and they tend to let these guys have too big of a leash. Kind of like Pete Carroll with the Seahawks, where it kind of backfired, and you let those guys have too much leeway. And now you're seeing it with Mike Tomlin. People are just saying that all kind of crazy stuff about the Steelers, but I don't know. Their division isn't the greatest, so they're not like losing a couple games won't be the best, but it's their defense more than their offense. But if you don't have chemistry, man, it doesn't matter. You see the difference that chemistry plays with the Buccaneers right now. Everybody's rallying around Ryan Fitzpatrick. We'll see what happens when he faces some adversity, but Everybody's rallying around him. They believe in him. Everybody wants to play for him. Everybody wants to play with him. And he's raising the elevation of everybody. Everybody believes in him. It's even making the defense play better, even though they're not playing with him. But it's just amazing what that'll do. But the Bucs, they're in a good spot right now. They just have to stay in ho. Let the FitzMagic sizzle out. They've done pretty good right now. They've got, this is the worst stretch of their schedule. These first 3 games is probably the brutalest. This is the most brutal start in NFL history as far as strength of schedule. And if they come out of this thing 3-0, that says a lot about the team. Like, if you look up the numbers, they said that this is the toughest start in the Super Bowl era for any team in NFL history. And the Bucs are 2-0 right now. I picked them to go 0-3 through this stretch during preseason in my video, even though I had them winning over the projected win total of 6. I still had them starting out 0-3 and heating up as the season got by. Because I think they have, the Bears next week. So, you know that defense is going to be tough. But they need to take advantage of these teams right now while they're down. And I think they can beat the Steelers on prime time. I think it's going to be high scoring. I don't think they drop 40 per se again. But I do think it'll be a back and forth game for a little bit. But I think FitzMagic gets them out ahead again. They neutralize the running game again. That formula is going to work until it doesn't work, of course. I think that they take some shots against that Swiss cheese of a defense that the Steelers have. Magic is temporary sometimes. Yes, I agree, Donald Clark. However, you got to ride that wave, baby. You got to ride that wave, man, and get it while the getting's good. We know what, Jameis, we'll see what he does if he gets a chance to get back in. A lot of people are saying that he shouldn't play anymore this year. I don't know. I think in his contract year, you got to see what you got from Jameis, especially with these weapons. I know he was hurt last year with the shoulder, so you want to see him healthy just to see what you got because you got to pay him eventually. So you want to see how much is he really worth because you can't just stick a wet thumb in the air and just pick out a salary because these quarterbacks are getting overpaid like crazy. And if you overpay a quarterback that's not the guy, you can set your franchise back for years to come. Fitzpatrick is Mr. Right now, but he's definitely not the future. David Barber said, Jake DeLong can go to the Super Bowl. Fitzpatrick can. Hey, anything is possible. Anything is possible if you believe in magic. Remember that. Anything is possible if you believe in magic, I think Kanye said that you can live through anything if magic made it. I'm just using all these magic play on words. Excuse my corniness. However, keep Fitzpatrick until it starts losing now. Like, you know what you're going to get with Jameis. Like I said, if this O-line can protect like it's doing now, I think Jameis can actually have a decent season. I'm not even going to lie. Last year, he took a beating. The pressure was bad. Yes, he makes his own mental mistakes and does a lot OD sometimes, but I think this FitzMagic and Fitzpatrick stuff is going to be a good thing for him. It may give him a wake-up call like, hey, bro, we not tied to you like that, bro. You're not going to handicap us with all your off-the-field stuff. Speaking of off-the-field stuff, the Uber driver filed a lawsuit. I guess she's going to try to sue him. I didn't look into all the details, but I got that headline across. That's crazy. You guys, let me know your prediction of the Steelers-Buccaneers score. I don't know if they should trade Winston. I don't know where his value is right now. I don't think that the value they could get for him in a trade would be worth giving him up in a trade because I don't think they'll get anything more than a 3rd round pick for him just because his off the field stuff. The Patriots only got a 2nd rounder for Jimmy Garoppolo, and everybody was way higher on Jimmy Garoppolo than they are on Jameis. But it's hard to cut ties with a 25-year-old quarterback who's won a Heisman and won a national championship that shows he can compete. Like I said, with this O-line in place, the way they're protecting, they got to give Jameis a look now, especially with these weapons. These weapons. Now people are actually starting to pay attention to the Bucs, the mainstream media. People are actually realizing that they did work last offseason. They did work this offseason. I said they quietly had the best offseason this year, and it's paying dividends. Like, after all those times of being at the top of the draft, you actually get some good players in on your team. So once they start developing, it's amazing what happens. But my score for the game, my score prediction, like I said, you guys let me know your score prediction down below. Mine, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think the FitzMagic keeps rolling. It's too big of a spotlight. For the FitzMagic to not keep going at least one more week. That's why I'm streaming Fitzpatrick in my fantasy league, at least for a week, and playing it by ear going forward, just like the Bucs will. My score prediction, 33-28 Buccaneers. So Winston is the future. Yes, you're right. So they're not going to trade him. He's definitely the future. So they got to, like I said, but they have to play him and see what he has. Winston did have those weapons last year, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt of having to hurt shoulder towards the end of the year or whatever, and not having that greater protection. Like I said, with this new and improved offensive line, with the guys they picked up in free agency, and they gotta give him a chance. You know, I mean, they sometimes you don't want to play favorites or whatever, or do any kind of privilege or politics, but it's a business. If you're gonna invest $20+ million in the quarterback for the future, if they sign Jameis to a contract, you want to know exactly what you're getting. Has he shown enough in his career so far to get a big time contract? I don't know. They need to see what he has now, healthy with the O-line and with all the weapons around him. Let's see what happens with Jameis Winston then. How soon does that happen? It may happen after the Bears game. I don't know if it's going to be like a short leash where as soon as he has one bad game, they pull him, because the Bears defense, listen, after what I saw them do to the Seahawks, even though the Seahawks offensive line is crazy, the Bears are coming, and they'll be there next week. Fitzpatrick probably won't be tested Monday because the Steelers are trash on defense, but on a short week after a Monday night game, racing against that Bears defense, who is nasty with Khalil Mack, Leonard Floyd, Roquan Smith, Akeem Hicks, Danny Trevathan, Fuller, Eddie Jackson. They have just so much talent and young talent on that defense. They're fast, they're nasty. I think they'll be able to prey on Trubisky, but I'll preview that game later on. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I appreciate the correction, Buck Crazy. He played hurt all year. Yeah, I knew he was hurt. But David, come on, man. You know everybody hates Cam. Like, Cam doesn't get the benefit of the doubt that these other quarterbacks do. So there's no point in even bringing that up. I don't know why people hate Cam so much, but he doesn't get it. He doesn't get excuses like these other quarterbacks do. So I even stopped bringing those things up because nobody wants to hear that about Cam. Just because the demand for Cam is so much higher than everybody else in the league, and the expectations are so much higher for everybody else in the league, and it's really unfair and biased. But tis what it, yeah, I know why. We won't get into that though. But the Buccaneers, I think I said, 33-28? Like I said, I think they got to get that lead again. Turn it, get that lead. Like I said, make the Jets defense is a good offense, and it's been working this far. We'll see what happens. So, you guys got any questions? Drop the questions below. Right now, I'm going speed round. I'm about to scroll up on these comments and see what's going on. If I missed your question, sorry guys. I'm going back through it. Kid Skitty, I don't know if you're still here or not, but we can debate that top 10 if you want to. Yeah, Thomas Davis. Can't wait to have Thomas Davis back. Like I said, I like that DJ Moore play. I like to see him get more playing time. So I'll be excited. Norris plays column was a little bit rusty. Yeah, I will say that for sure. I didn't really get too much deep into it, but that third quarter, man, was terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why he just got so conservative. We were down. Like, they kind of just went away from the running game, period. They like to take CJ. I don't know if he's in charge of substituting CJ Anderson out, but he got a 22-yard gain on the first play of the game and took him out. Like, I don't like that, man. Like, just like we're talking about Fitzpatrick being the hot hand and keeping him in the hot hand. If CJ Anderson breaks off a 20-yard run, leave him in, give him the ball a few more times before you take him out. Don't be so gung-ho on giving Christian McCaffrey the ball. David, you said they're trying to justify taking him at 8. I don't think they have to. I think Christian McCaffrey being added with North Turner will pay dividends off itself. We've seen him have running backs like Darren Sproles, who are good catching passes, and LaDainian Tomlinson, who are good catching passes, have good years. Let him naturally ingratiate himself in there. Take away maybe 4 of those catches and give him carries a little bit. Maybe give a few of those touches to CJ Anderson. You think CJ needs a bit more stamina, but I don't think he's gotten a chance to get tired. I don't think he's been in the game long enough. Like, CJ didn't play all preseason, so maybe, he does need to get in shape, but to me, he seems like he's a veteran guy. Like, he seems like he should be ready to go. I think they held him out of preseason because they know what he can do already, and they just wanted to save his legs, which is why they got him now. They want to save his legs. Don't give him freaking 5 carries or 7 carries per game. Get this man 10 to 12 carries and put him in on the goal line. I mean, I don't understand why they want to put the heavier back in on the goal line. Like, don't have Christian McCaffrey in there and trying to run up in the middle. He's not going to move the pile. Yes, he's slippery. He can make people miss. But get a guy in there that can move the pile. Stewart can move the pile. If you're not going to run Cam, put in C.J. Anderson to move that pile. Let him jump over the top, do this, that, or whatever he wants to do. But he's a power back. Put him in. That's what you got him for. He was a 1,000-yard back last year. C.J. Anderson was number 7 in the league in rushing last year. And now he's a backup to a bona fide slot receiver / running back like Christian McCaffrey. I don't hate McCaffrey. I like McCaffrey. I like what he's shown, but they got to put some respect on C.J. Anderson's name, man. Give that man some touches. This dude is a Super Bowl winning running back. I miss Stewart, too. I miss the prime Stewart. I don't miss the Stewart that fumbled. I don't miss the Stewart that was 2 yards in a cloud of dust. But Stewart did have some good moments, like against the Vikings last year when he broke that long run, and he doesn't look good. Like, Stewart doesn't even look good anymore on the Giants. I mean, Saquon is the man now, of course, but Stewart had a bad preseason. But C.J. Anderson can be Stewart 2.0. He's younger. He has less carries. He has fresh legs, and he's a bowling ball, too, just like Stewart. I miss Stewart, though. Believe me, I have a Jonathan Stewart jersey that I can't even rock no more. I'm not a fan of rocking jerseys of players that aren't on the team anymore, so I have to probably just hang that jersey up in my room somewhere. Maybe I can get a signature someday, but I'm not wearing that jersey anymore, unfortunately. But I miss Stewart, too. He's one of my favorite players. Donald said the Panthers-Bengals game is going to be 17-13. Going to be hard. I can see that. I mean, the Bengals defense has been great, but that Panthers offensive line, don't sleep on them, man. I know the Bengals defense they're good up front with Geno Atkins and Carlos Dunlap, but that Panthers offensive line played great. Yes, it's a whole different beast because Cincinnati's D-line is way bigger and better than the Falcons D-line, but you got to appreciate what a group of misfits that the Panthers threw out there were able to do. But like I said, if you have any questions, drop them down below. I'm going down answering the questions. Yeah, I like Chris Clark last week too, man. They said he was on the couch watching them play the Cowboys just a week ago, and then he came in Wednesday, and then Sunday he was starting at left tackle. They were actually telling him the plays. Like, they would break the huddle. He didn't know all the plays. The left guard was telling him the plays as they were happening, and he was still doing a good job out there. He got beat one time, but I'll take that because think about it. If you're a Panthers fan, you might not remember all these trash, garbage guys, but think of the left tackles we've had. We have Byron Bell. Byron Bell might be the worst Carolina Panther of all time, and he was playing left tackle for us. We have Mike Remmers. He might be the second worst Panther of all time, and he was playing left tackle also. We had Michael Orr, who was in concussion protocol for 11 weeks. He literally retired because of one concussion. I'm not saying that, I'm not making light of concussions, but this dude, they said he couldn't even really be exposed to sunlight for like 6 weeks because like the sunlight gave him headaches. Like, he seemed like the Blind Side story was great. He had a good start to his career with the Ravens and all that, but once he came to the Panthers, he was just terrible. He got exposed. He had a decent year in the Super Bowl run, but he got exposed in the Super Bowl by DeMarcus Ware. He's gone. We had Matt Khalil. We still have Matt Khalil. Thank our lucky stars that this man is on injured reserve, but unfortunately we paid this guy like $10 or $11 million, which is probably the worst contract. Like, Gettleman, you're a cheapskate about everything else. You didn't want to pay Josh Norman, but you'll give Matt Khalil $11 million? Come on, Gettleman. Like, what you doing? You didn't want to pay Josh Norman $13, $14, $15 million for a lockdown corner, which probably could have got us back to the Super Bowl the following year. But you want to give Matt Khalil $11 million? Somebody that's garbage? Like, Jordan Gross, yeah, Jordan Gross was the GOAT, but we're a long way removed from Jordan Gross, unfortunately. Travell Warden, I mean, both of those guys, Travell Warden and Jordan Gross, kind of left us high and dry. They kind of retired out of nowhere and kind of left us high and dry, but I'm not going to be bitter. But now we're dealing with two Khalils, you know? So I don't like Matt Khalil. If you haven't noticed, I don't like Matt Khalil. Yeah, Jordan's all good. I got you, David. I got you. Booger is not you said Booger's a good analyst. I don't like Booger. Why do you think? I think the reason why they put him on the field is because he's annoying. Like, nobody wants to be in a box with him for hours. They put him on the field as a field analysis. He sits in some little director's chair, and I just think he's biased. He said some slick stuff about some college players that I didn't like. Like, Yeah, I'm all about criticizing people for who they are, whether they're kids or grown-ups, but he's biased to me, man, and he really rubbed me the wrong way when he was on the SEC network. Um, I don't like him. I'll just leave it at that. Uh, Christian Act, my bad, man. I'm sorry you missed the. You heard he smells like hot dog water. that's that's a good one. Hot dog water. Yeah, I'm sure he does. A big man like that, I'm sure he doesn't smell great. But uh, let's see. Oh, my Saints Falcons pick. I picked the Saints. Um, What's up, Carter, man? Checking in. I'll see your question I'm going to get to in a second. I'm going through all the speed round questions now. Carter, I haven't hollered at you in a minute. I haven't seen you leave any comments in a while, Carter. Show your boy some love on these videos, man. Drop some comments. I was looking for some of your comments. I know I've seen you on Instagram a few times, Carter. I know you're probably in school and whatnot, but show your boy some love. Leave some comments on some of the videos sometime, man. I'm just messing with you, though, but welcome to the live stream. But Christian, I did pick the Saints to win a close game. I can't remember that score prediction that I put. I should have wrote it down, but I picked the Saints to win by I think 3 points maybe, just because I think it will be too many injuries for the Falcons. And their offense, the Saints' offense, is a lot more explosive than Carolina, so they'll be able to take advantage of it from start to finish. And Drew Brees is a surgeon. Like I said, Deion Jones isn't there to pick him off in the end zone again, but I think it'll be another good game. Unfortunately, I'll be watching the Panthers, so I'll have to watch the highlights and then watch the replay on Game Pass. So I'll be watching the Panthers game at the same time. Donald says Breeze will dominate the Falcons. I think he'll have a good game, man. But he said they were sloppy. Michael Thomas got to stop fumbling. You're not a running, like, you can't be anybody. No, there's no excuse for fumbling if you're not a running back. Carter said he's going to the game. I was at the Falcons game last week, man. Have fun at the game, bro, for sure. Make sure you yell it loud. Kids Kitty, appreciate the well wishes. My voice is still kind of hoarse from yelling so much at that game with the Falcons game. Like, it was a lot of fun, but unfortunately, I wish we could have won. I could have got my money's worth. Roman said I traded for Le'Veon in fantasy the day before I found out he wasn't even flying to the game. That sucks. I hope he didn't give up too much. A lot of people are trading for him because they think he'll come back at the end of the season. I don't think Le'Veon will come back. I think he'll come back, but I don't think he's playing. If you guys are familiar with basketball and if you're old enough, you remember how Stephon Marbury did the New York Knicks. He was getting paid, but he never played in that last final season before they got rid of him. He pretty much collected a huge check and just pretty much sat there. He didn't dress out. He didn't practice or anything. He was just a huge distraction. And I think Le'Veon Bell will be Stephon Marbury of the NFL when he goes back. If I'm Le'Veon Bell, I wouldn't want to run behind those offensive linemen that were talking trash about me. Like, they might try to blow a block on purpose. I don't know I don't trust these big dudes. They're talking about, oh, he needs to show up and do this, that, and whatever. Like, dude, I don't trust. These are guys that they have to block for. I don't know. Like, I'm not trusting those big dudes. Like, you got to have some kind of trust and be on the same page with those guys if you want to have some success as running back. I already answered shit. They trade Winston. Oh, so you only gave up Patrick Mahomes. You signed Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Jackson. Dope. Like, Patrick Mahomes, you better ride that hot wave. I think once they play the Jaguars, I think somebody will figure him out eventually. I want to see what he does against the Jaguars. Granted, he has a ton of weapons. Stephen A. Smith actually had a good point that the Steelers' defense is trash, and he had a good game against the Chargers, I'll say that, but nobody had any film on him. So once he gets more film on Mahomes, we'll see what happens, but he's got a ton of good weapons. Kelsey, Sammy Watkins, and Tyreek Hill, and freaking, the running back, Kareem Hunt. Like, Tyreek Hill is easily the fastest person I've ever seen in my life, and I've never even seen him up close. Like, he's noticeably faster than guys in the NFL that are running 4.4s and 4.5s. Like, it's really ridiculous. And his name is the Cheetah on Instagram. Like, how do you allow somebody that fast to get that name on Instagram, the Cheetah? Like, somebody didn't have Cheetah before him. Like, did he pay for it? What happened? Like, you're legit when your name on Instagram is Cheetah. Where do I think Le'Veon will play next year? That's the $1 million question, the $17 million question, according to Le'Veon Bell. Who has the money to pay him, and that's one thing I think about. Who has the money, and what do you think Bell's motives are? Do you think it's just to get a check? Do you think he wants a ring? Um, if he wants that check, he'll go to the Browns. I think the Browns probably have the most salary cap space, but I don't think he wants to stay in that division because he had to play the Saints twice. I mean, not the Saints. Jesus. If you have to play the Steelers twice, like, they're going to try to comfort Le'Veon Bell, whether their defense is good or not, if he plays the Steelers twice. The Jets have bread. Yeah, the Jets have bread. Does he want to go with a young quarterback again? They need some weapons on the outside. They need to spend that money on the outside. I think Crowell and Powell can get the job done for now, but they need some better weapons on the outside. Jermaine Kearse, freaking Anunwa, and Robbie Anderson are all good complementary pieces, but they need a big-time wide receiver, similar to the Carolina Panthers. Who else has some money that I can think of off the top? Everybody's saying the Packers because they wanna see Aaron Rodgers get a running game, but they just pay Aaron Rodgers way too much money for them to give Le'Veon Bell some money. Some people are saying San Fran. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see who has that bread coming up, but my prediction could be San Fran. A lot of people believe in that hype. Maybe I do a little bit. I don't know. San Fran has Garoppolo. They need some receivers on the outside, of course, but they got a coach. They got a good system, the zone running system. They got a creative offensive coordinator that can find ways to get Le'Veon the ball. Maybe Le'Veon does go to San Francisco. I think that's my pick. I need to check the Vegas odds to see who's the favorite right now. Roman X Dez to the Giants. I don't think Dez is going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I think he's outstayed his welcome. I think they talked about it today. There's a lot of teams that need receivers that don't want to deal with the headache of Dez, and I think Dez just wants too much money. I was for sure Dez is going to the Browns, but apparently he wanted more money than they were willing to give. If Dez really wants to play, he's got to take less money. Dez to the CFL, yeah. Dez is gonna have to swallow that pride and do something, and his pride might be going to CFL playing with Johnny Manziel. And he might need to give a call to Johnny Manziel to let Johnny know how much fun that is. Johnny Manziel thought that the CFL was gonna be a little tryout for the NFL, and he's gonna come right back to the league. Nah, player, you're right where you need to be. You're not coming back to the NFL, homie. But Dez, I don't know, man. Like, it just made too much sense for him to go to the Browns. Especially after they traded Josh Gordon. I don't know why they went and signed him by now. Just come off your high horse. You've made plenty of money in your day. Just take a 1-year deal with the Browns and make some plays. They have a decent core, and Tyrod Taylor and Baker Mayfield, they'll figure that situation soon. I think Baker Mayfield will be in sooner rather than later, and Baker Mayfield is going to be needing a big-time receiver to take those chances. Landry is a good inside guy, but I'm not too convinced on him being a go-get-it guy on the outside. I think he wants to play with the Cowboys too. He's been taking all his pictures with Jerry Jones. Like you said, he wants to play against the Cowboys. Yeah, Callaway is making plays in Cleveland, man. He's got stupid speed, but I'm sure he'll get suspended for that little weed incident when he got pulled over during training camp. Carter talking about DJ. Yeah, we talked about DJ a little bit earlier, man. DJ definitely has the skills to be number one. I don't know if you're going to go back and watch the live stream later, Carter, but I pretty much was talking about how disappointed I was in Devin Funchess. From that one drop he had in the Saints game at the end of the game on that last play before Cam got intercepted, to him dropping that little back shoulder fade that Cam threw perfectly to him I think it was after we got the interception in the second half against the Falcons. Funchess dropped some passes, but all the other receivers that are new to the team had better games than him, had a better game than him, and Devin Funchess is probably the only veteran guy that has experience with Cam, so he should be one of the better guys on the team, but everybody else scored in the game but him. A fine Chima, who that nation, baby? Yeah, I see. I picked you guys to beat the Falcons if you haven't been tuning in yet. I picked you guys to win this one in a close one. I picked y'all splitting those season series, but I originally in my preseason prediction had the Saints losing to the Falcons, but I flipped it because of the injuries this time. Dez to the XFL. Hey, the XFL is coming. I think it'll be next year? This February coming up, next February. We'll see what Vince McMahon can do with that. We'll see if it's like another extra night of wrestling, because we know how Vince McMahon is with the theatrics and the scripts and stuff. But whatever. I probably got about 3 more minutes on this live stream, guys. So if you got any videos, when you got any questions, shoot them at them while before I finish the video. I think my battery's getting low too. I want to keep these live streams at right about an hour. So I'll talk. I'll just kill some time talking about the channel while you guys drop some questions if you have any. If not, you can just listen to me, holler at your boy. I gotta go, Carter. I'll holler at you. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Have fun at the game. But as far as the channel goes, I've been trying to do some different stuff. Like, I've never done a power rankings before. I did that. Gonna try to do a little bit more general stuff. I appreciate you, man. I find Chima. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I like making the content too. Of course, I like the NFC South. I like the Panthers, so I like keeping up with all the teams in the division anyway. And it's fun to talk trash between you guys anyway. So it's always fun. With that, however, I want to be able to expand the reach that way, because I'm not growing as fast as I would like to. Of course, I never want to be satisfied anyway. That way it keeps me hungry and keeps me motivated. But I want to do some more general stuff. So I'm going to try to do more stuff. I think my problem is I try to make stuff too perfect, and it kind of makes me, I want to do stuff too perfect even though it doesn't have to be. You guys aren't coming for all the bells and whistles like the other YouTube channels. You guys come to hear the content and hear talk about your team. So I'm going to start focusing more on talking about the team versus trying to do all the cute little bells and whistles and stuff. But I do like doing the power rankings. I'm going to try to do like a news thing maybe once a week. Yeah, my favorite team is the Panthers, but I'm going to try to do a news thing about the general NFL once a week. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Philip DeFranco, one of the biggest YouTubers on the channel or website, whatever you want to call it, platform, I guess. He does a little daily news thing. I don't want to do daily. That's a lot. 5 days a week doing a news thing, especially me trying to talk about the division. I like doing the breakdown and analysis. But I thought about doing a weekly news episode like that where I go over all the general topics. I did vlog the game. I'm still working on editing that because I suck at editing. I'll try to get it up. I'll try to work on it some more tonight. I'll definitely get it up before Friday, but I'm going to aim for tomorrow. So stay tuned for that, because my schedule usually has been the game will happen on Sunday. I'll try to drop a video Sunday night. I didn't this week because I was not going to lie. I was kind of out of it, quote unquote, if you know what I mean, from going to the game after tailgating for 3 hours and being at a game 3 hours and yelling my lungs out. I couldn't talk anyway. But I ended up going to bed at like 7 o'clock as soon as I got home, just because I was tired. I was disappointed from losing. But I try to drop a video on Sunday, definitely on Monday. Sunday, Monday. Try to get something on. I'm going to try to do Tuesday as the news day. If not, I'll drop another video then. Wednesday is going to be the live stream staple day. And I've typically, the past few weeks, I've been taking Thursday, Friday, Saturday off unless something big happens. If something big in the division happens, I'm always going to try to drop a video spur of the moment to try to get that going. However, but I'm trying to get into a routine and a schedule. This week has been crazy because my job sucks, guys. Like, that's why I live streamed late today. I started live streaming as soon as I got home. I got a freaking double cheeseburger from McDonald's. And I started live streaming. Trying to balance both is tough. That's why hopefully this thing takes off eventually one day and I can do it full time. But who knows? I got to support myself some way with a regular job. So I'm rambling. So you guys don't want to hear about my real life like that. But I'll keep it going consistently. That's the thing about it. That's why I'm glad I did this live stream again. It's the 3rd week in a row. I'll try to do some more. Let me know how you guys think. Do you like the predictions being on the live stream, or would you rather have a recap of the live stream? Because I can live stream on Sundays after the games, and talk about it then, spur of the moment. But I know a lot of the times I only get to watch one game, so I can't really react like I want to fully. I like to go back and watch all the games before I come in and live stream and talk about the stuff. That way I can really get into it with you guys. But let me know what you guys like better. Do you like the live stream like now doing predictions, or do you like live stream like post-game reaction? Let me know. We can figure something out and I can play around with it, because a live stream is fun. It's easy. I like talking to you guys right then and there. That way to get the instant reactions. But I'm rambling. The vlog is coming, Roman. Sorry, stay tuned. It's crazy. It was fun. I did a lot of tailgating. I met a lot of Panthers fans, and uh, it's not really complete, but tis what it is. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Make sure you guys follow the Facebook and Instagram. I'll post the links in the chat. You guys stay up and you have a good week. Can't wait. You like live stream? This was prediction. Cool. I appreciate that, Roman. I like it too. Because I can answer you guys questions. Damn it, that link was broken. I can answer stuff spur of the moment, and we get a chance to talk about everything. But you guys stay tuned. Go watch my power rankings video. Live stream better. Do you like the live stream now, Alvin Chima, or do you like it like? Would you rather have it like post game reaction? Do you like prediction or reaction for the live stream? But bro, why do I keep misspelling Instagram? Like, I'm tired from work. I keep misspelling Instagram. It's pissing me off. Okay, let me proofread. Instagram.com/UB Sports Talk. Yes, thank goodness. All right, but clearly I'm getting restless, guys. So I'll go ahead and wrap this up. This live stream will be posted. So if you want to go back and see some of my predictions, make sure you guys go back. You guys know who it is. It's your boy Aaron Duncan. I'm always gonna be here. You guys hit me up on Facebook, man, if you need to. I'll put the Facebook there. If you want to talk about anything spur of the moment. Hell, we can talk about football. We can talk about other sports. We can talk about life. I don't care. Just let me know. I'm always down to talk and communicate with you guys. I love everybody. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Next week, you guys spoke. You like the prediction live stream, so you know Wednesdays at 8 o'clock typically. If not, follow me on Twitter at UB Sports Talk 2, and I'll let you guys know if the live stream is going to be delayed. But once again, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I apologize for being late. Make sure you guys stay up. Good night. Much love to you, Alvin Chima. I appreciate you tuning in. You weren't here last week, man. I think you might be new to the channel. If you're not, you gotta show some more love, man, so I know you're there. Roman 8, I know I appreciate you. You hit me up on Instagram. I appreciate you following there. You guys stay up. Well, not stay up, go to bed, actually. But you guys know what it is. It's Aaron Duncan signing off from Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. Might not tell you what you want to hear. Gonna tell you what you need to hear. I'll see you next time. In stream, yes.